Hi class, this is a tutorial on how to wire your painting. Step 1, get your painting. Pretend like this is a painted picture. Step 2, get your supplies. Let's say I have 2 bulbs. Remember, do not use red or yellow bulbs because they take 2 volts of power. We're using 2 AA batteries, which will give out 3 volts of power, so it'll actually blow these 2 colors. If you want to use, or if you want a colored bulb that's not blue or green, please get a clear bulb, and you can color it with a Sharpie to get the desired color that you want for your project. So I'll give an example of that. So let's say I want a orange bulb or a red one. I'm gonna get a clear bulb. Okay, I'll just pretend like I have 3 lights in my circuit. So I got my 3 light bulbs. I'm gonna put them over here. The next thing you want to get is a push pin. Here's a yellow push pin. And then some pliers. I like the smaller ones. I like these ones. Okay. You also need a permanent marker. You're gonna get a red permanent marker. Alright, so let's say I wanted my lights to be here, here, and here. So obviously you're not gonna make any marks on the cardboard, but I don't have a painting on mine, so I feel like making marks will make a little bit more sense.
Alright. Interruption, ACPA. I need the following students to please report to the front office. Osman Ba, Asia Graham, Amaya
That's convenient.
Hart, Abdul Hassan, Azil Lay, Amaya West, Deshanti Williams.
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is poke holes in the cardboard. Now I want to poke them right next to each other and make sure it goes all the way through. Now you can see the hole there. I want it to be right next to that hole, but not too close so that it makes 2 holes. So I'll put it about right there, push through. So there I have my 2 holes. I'm gonna do that for all of the spots where my lights go. Make sure you push all the way through. Okay, so there are my holes. Now the next thing I'm gonna do is take the, where's the camera? The longer diode, I'm gonna color red. Color the longer diode so that after you push it through your cardboard, you can identify it. Okay, so coloring the longer one. I bend it a little bit. Okay, last bulb. I bent mine out a little bit because I'm not very graceful and I colored both on that one. Alright, so got all my bulbs colored. Next thing I'm going to do is push the bulbs through the cardboard. So there are my 2 holes. I'm going to push them through. And notice when I pushed it through, my colored diode, or the positive one, is on the right there. I'm going to do that same orientation for each bulb. It'll make wiring a little bit easier. So push that through. Here's the next one. There's my red side. Push them through. Last bulb. There's my red side. Gonna push it through. Alright, so that's what the front of your painting should look like. Yeah. Alright, so now I'm going to turn it over to the back. This is where having pliers and or tweezers will make it a little easier. So I'm going to bend the non-colored one down and the colored one up. That one's a little bent from previous step. Do that the same. And the reason I'm doing this is because I have to wire all the reds together, and I have to wire all the clear ones together, these ones, the negatives, and I want my wire to run boop, 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 just like that. So I'll have 2 wires. I'll connect these with wires like that and like that. See how these lines are parallel? That's why it's called a parallel circuit. Okay, so I have my diodes flattened down. The next thing you want to do is actually bend each one of these up. This will help you when you're twisting on your pieces of wire. So just bend those up. It's real simple to do with a pair of tweezers. Okay. Boom, perfect. So the next thing that I want you guys to do is to take some yarn. Well, actually, before you take the yarn, choose where you want your switch to go. Let's say I want mine to be right here. You're going to write an X where the switch goes. Then you're going to write the word battery where you want to mount your battery. So you're going to wire all of the positives to the switch. You're going to wire the negatives to the battery, and then the battery to the switch. So since these are positives, this has to be the positive lead of the battery. When you actually have the battery with you, positive lead is the red one. So this would be red here, and then this would be negative here. So the back of your picture needs to look like this after you poke the bulbs through. It'll help you figure out how much wire to get. So after you've mapped this out, get a piece of yarn, and this should help you measure how much wire you actually need to get. Okay. And the batteries, as you saw, the batteries come with wire. So this part right here, this line is this. You don't need to measure this or this because they're right here. So what we're measuring is where you're hooking up to your lights to the switch. So positive, positive, positive switch. That's what you need to measure with the yarn. I'm gonna cut that. Careful with those. And then the next thing you need to measure with yarn is your negatives. So negative, negative, negative. Leave yourself a little bit of room. And then cut. So when I go get my copper wire, I need to get 2 pieces of copper wire that are both this long. So measure one this long, measure one this long. I'm gonna go to the basket that has copper wire right here. The first thing I'm gonna do is search for pieces that I could potentially use. This one is wonderful. I can use this piece. It's a little too short for this, but it's pretty good for this one. I can cut it. So I'm gonna use this piece of wire, measure it out. It's about right there. You can cut wire with scissors. Here's my one piece of wire. Now I need to find a piece this long. So before I just go in the wire basket and take the brand new wire, take this wire, take this wire, you gotta look. It'll make your life so much easier if you choose a piece of wire that's already in there, that's already cut, possibly already sanded. I'm gonna pick this one. This looks good. All right. So I need this piece of wire to be about the length of this piece of yarn. girl needs a drink. So start here and there. You can cut wire with scissors. The larger copper wire, the thicker wire is a little bit harder, so on your pliers there should be a wire cutter. There it is. Alright, so now I'm ready to wire, and this is what I want you guys to accomplish by Thursday. I want you to have this part finished. So I'm going to take the copper wire, and this one I can tell has a little bit of insulation on it because it's colored. It's hard to see here, but you can see it with, for example, this wire. See how it's red? When you sand this, it'll go to the copper color that we need. It's covered with red. Enamel, which is an insulator. This is your more decorative copper wire. So I got it at Joann's. It's $2 compared to this, which is about $60. So, you know, I'm cheap. I don't mind doing a little extra work sanding off this enamel. So let me show you what that looks like. Some of you will have to do sanding if you choose this wire, the purple wire, the green wire, the teal wire, any wire that's not copper colored, or not copper colored like this, you do have to sand it. This one looks copper colored, but it's actually orange colored. So you do need to sand that as well. So when you sand it, just get a good grip down here. Take your sandpaper, one run through there. You can see the exposed copper. See it? Okay. I'm gonna put that back. Give mine a little bit of sanding there. Doesn't take like you don't have to like scrub it, just give it a couple goes. So you're gonna go through now and do the hooking up part, the part where you hook up your wire to your bulbs. So I like to do this with pliers. So I'm gonna bend this down, kind of pinch it together. You want to make sure this wire can't escape. If your connection is loose, then it's not going to be trustworthy. It's not going to conduct. So make sure that's put together pretty tightly. You can go back through and pinch these together with pliers. So I'm going to go to my next bulb there. Just kind of push that down. Dear God, make sure that doesn't happen with yours. Then the last one. Then just pinch it together. So this I'll end up cutting off because I don't need it unless I decide to do something like take the negative end of the battery and like just twist these together. I might end up doing that. Just a little bit easier. You guys don't have to do this part tomorrow. I'm just gonna do it to make sure that they work. So, last step here, I'm gonna take my copper wire and run the positives. So, ooh, I actually want to use this one. Sorry, I'm getting picky. So I'll use this here. Sometimes you can like loop around your first one, so you got a little loop there. Then you can stick that loop through the bulb diode and then pinch these together. Makes it a little bit easier to hook them up. Okay, then I'll pinch these together. And you can see the parallel circuit coming together here. The wires have to be parallel. Then I'm gonna hook up this last one. Oh, it came out. No. So you don't want this to happen. I just grabbed this wire. It's not the one that I measured, but I didn't want to have to work with this thicker piece of copper. Okay. So I'm gonna hook up this very last bulb. Oops. You want to make sure you go slow on this and really take your time, because if this doesn't work, the one I just set up, if this doesn't work, that means I have to go back and check each one of these connections and test them to see where the problem was. So I'm going to test my lights to see if they work. I might be able to see them shine through the cardboard. So you see those lights shining through the cardboard. If not, let me turn this over. Okay. Oops. So my connections are good. My light bulbs are turning on. You can see all of them there. So that means I'm done with the circuit up here. When you guys finish this part, what you want to do is take electrical tape to kind of secure your stuff in place so that it doesn't get knocked loose. So cut that off. I want to secure my wires, so I'm just gonna tape them down. You don't have to tape the entire thing, just tape the important parts. Taping over connections is important. I'm gonna rip that. Oh God, that hurt. Okay, so I'll tape over the connection, tape over this connection, and then tape over this connection. Okay, and the focus of Thursday's class will be getting this switch in, and then you guys will get your batteries, mount them, hook your stuff up, and you'll be good to go.